Hey class, Absolute 5 here. So today I was thinking of a question that a lot of people normally ask me, which is why did I choose math as a major? I could have been an English major, could have been a history major, a different field of science, but why math? I could have chose any field, even computer science even, with the rise of technology and how fast it is, but why did I choose math? That's the question. So first, let's understand some things about the other subjects that's different than mathematics first. So let's understand just a few, not to say all field of math, not all other subjects are bad. That's not my thing. It's some context of specifically English or history. I'm trying to think of any other one besides science. We'll just use history and English specifically. So let's understand something here. They're physical topics. Physical topics meaning you're able to manipulate it, write whatever thought, express a thought in your own words, or just, you know, when you're writing a draft, you rewrite your draft to make sure it's the perfect version. Now, here's where it becomes tricky with English and history that I have, is that for so many years, so many times that people have rewritten history or rewritten an essay, or even they've plagiarized some information that people have actually, you know, stole information online without crediting the sources, using it as their own, without getting caught. Now, I know there's other systems where newer generations of students have a harder time to plagiarize, which is obviously you want to make certain that doesn't happen. But see, but let's, besides all plagiarism aside, let's think of this. Is it fair? Here's the thing, and this is something to think about. Is it fair, right, for a teacher or professor, right, when you write an essay and then the professor wasn't in a good mood, they just felt, hey, you know what, we're just gonna give you a C because I felt like it. Has that happened to you? Gentlemen, ladies, when you've written an essay and someone just didn't feel like, oh, you were just wrong because your thought didn't match up with mine. It was very biased. I've had that happen to me. It was very biased, especially when I try to submit a thought to a woman. She was being sexist to me, saying, oh, your thought didn't match my thought. And I was very offended when she told me that, but I took my C and I had to move on. You know, I had to deal with that. I had to hold that C. And of course, when I was with another man, as a professor, I should say, they gave me a great score. I'm not sure what it was, or if it was expressing my thoughts clearly in English. Just to let you know, I suck in English. I'm terrible at it. My grammar is like the best, sarcastically speaking. That sometimes I'd pass decently, sometimes I wouldn't, but it was never consistent. It was never consistent. Same goes for history. You have different historians stating this happened to, just an example, I don't know, during the slaves in Africa, or the French, when the French invaded Africa and they changed their language. But then there's like different American stories where different things happen. Like I said, I'm not good in history, so I'm not even gonna pretend that I know anything about the American history, even though I'm American. That's the funny part. I'm American. I don't know my history. Yes, I know. I'm a bad person. But I don't really care, honestly. I really don't. But the point that I'm saying is that, haven't you noticed that things can be manipulated to not tell you the truth? You see? That's one thing that I couldn't stand in English or in history. That no one knew exactly what happened. What was the authentic truth? Now, how does this tie with mathematics? Well, let's see. Mathematics is a language that is always going to tell you the truth. Whether you understand it or not, that's a different question. if you understand the language behind mathematics, like for example, I know for certain 1 + 1 = 2. Now, what the hell does that mean? That's depending on the quantity you're giving it. Let's say 1 and 1 inch is 2 inch, or 12 inches is a foot. We understand that those are fundamentally facts. Those are facts, truths, and that you cannot tell me anything otherwise, because it does not make any sense. Period. So for me, I enjoy the fact that I know, it's not to say that, oh, I know I'm right. I've been wrong many times, and it's fine. And I actually love being corrected, because then it gives me the opportunity to learn something on the spot. And that's why I'm not perfect, of course, I'm not perfect, but I always put myself as a student teacher, always learning, but I know how to teach, in a sense. So for me specifically, with the math, I chose mathematics because it does not lie to you. And what I love about it is that as you're doing a problem, when you get really good at the math, when you're writing out the problem and you're doing the problem, you're gonna look at the problem and think, this isn't the answer. Like, why does this not look like it should be how it should be, right? The answer is not how it's supposed to be. Now, that depends on how some professors instruct you, how, oh, you have to really teach, you can only do it in this way. I can't stand that topic. We'll talk about that another time. But here's the thing. The point that I chose math is because it does not lie to you. And the best part is that it knows when you're wrong, because when you're checking yourself and you check your answer, if it doesn't match up, something went wrong. And that's one reason why I love mathematics, and that's why I chose to major in it. Not because of the money, not because of how smart I'll be, it's because it does not lie to you. Okay? That's my preference, and that's my reason why I chose mathematics. So if you guys like the video, be sure to give it a like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching Absolute 5. I'm Roger Palomino, and math is infinite because there are infinitely many possibilities.